3 religions, 4 millennia, 1 small city that has shaped the world. For the next few minutes we uncover Jerusalem, its stones, its stories, its controversies, and what it truly means for history, faith, and the present day. Stay because some of what you think you know is incomplete. Welcome to Bible System. This video is for curious minds, travelers, students, people of faith, and anyone who wants a clear, fact-checked, cinematic deep dive into Jerusalem. We'll combine archaeology, history, scripture, and contemporary context, with clear citations for the big claims. Subscribe and ring the bell if you want more long-form deep dives like this. Jerusalem, layered city. To understand Jerusalem, imagine a compact vertical archive. Every street and stone holds centuries of stories. Archaeologists and historians locate remains from Canaanite times through Israelite kingdoms, Persian, Hellenistic, Roman, Byzantine, early Islamic, Crusader, Mamluk, Ottoman, British, and modern eras. The biblical account traces David making Jerusalem his capital around 1000 BC and Solomon building the temple. Archaeological and textual traditions converge and diverge in complex ways. For a broad, reliable overview of the city's layered past, see Britannica's survey. Jerusalem's Old City is roughly 0.9 square kilometers and is traditionally divided into 4 quarters: Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and Armenian, a pattern that developed over centuries and was solidified under Ottoman and later administrations. The city's small size concentrates enormous sacred geography: Temple Mount, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Mount Zion, and the Kidron and Tyropean valleys. Throughout history, controlling Jerusalem has been politically and symbolically important, from ancient empires to modern nation-states, because it is both theological symbol and strategic high ground. 2. Temple Mount and the Rocks of Memory. Temple Mount, called Har HaBayit in Hebrew and al-Haram al-Sharif in Arabic, is the city's most contested platform. For Jews it's the site of the first temple, Solomon's, and the Second Temple, the latter destroyed by Rome in 70 CE. For Muslims it holds the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, early Islamic monuments built in the late 7th century. The Dome of the Rock is one of the oldest surviving Islamic structures. These overlapping sacred claims make the mount a unique religious palimpsest. For architectural and historical context on the Dome of the Rock and the Temple Mount's development, see Britannica's entries. Archaeologists study the terraces, ancient foundations, and pilgrims' paths to reconstruct earlier phases, but access and politics make excavation on the mount itself limited. That complexity means scholars combine textual sources, Josephus, biblical texts, Islamic historians, non-invasive surveys, and excavations around the mount to build a picture rather than a single neat narrative. Because the mount sits at the intersection of theology, archaeology, and geopolitics, every new discovery or restoration work tends to attract intense public attention. Our aim here is clarity, not polemic. Identify what is historically well attested, note scholarly debates, and respect living faith claims. The Western Wall and Jewish memory. The Western Wall, often called the Wailing Wall, is a surviving section of the massive retaining walls built by Herod the Great to support the enlarged temple platform in the late Second Temple period. It is the holiest accessible site for Jewish prayer because it is the closest remaining structure to where the temple stood. Britannica summarizes the wall's significance and its history as a site of pilgrimage and prayer. After 70 CE and across the centuries, the wall became a focal point for Jewish devotion. Its modern role also changed after 1967, when Israeli forces captured East Jerusalem and the Old City in the Six-Day War, a pivotal moment that reshaped control and access to holy sites. For the military and diplomatic context of 1967, see the Six-Day War reference. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre and Christian veneration. For many Christians, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre encloses both Golgotha, the place of the crucifixion, and the tomb where Jesus was buried and rose. The first major church on the site was built under Constantine the Great in the 4th century, and, though rebuilt multiple times after destruction and modification, the site remains the principal pilgrimage center for many denominations. Britannica outlines the church's layered history and the shared custodial arrangements among Christian communities. Archaeological research and recent restoration work, including careful stratigraphic study, have added detail to our understanding of the site's antiquity while also highlighting the complexity of matching veneration sites with archaeological strata. Importantly, archaeological findings and devotional traditions operate in different registers. One is empirical and stratigraphic, the other is communal memory and faith practice, archaeology and the City of David. The City of David, the southeastern ridge just outside the old city walls, is a crucial archaeological zone for understanding Jerusalem's earliest urban core. Excavations have produced evidence of ancient fortifications, water systems like Hezekiah's Tunnel and the Siloam Pool, and public architecture that scholars associate with Iron Age Jerusalem and later periods. Recent finds, debates over interpretation, and the politics around excavations make this one of the most dynamic fields in biblical archaeology. For readable coverage of major finds and debates, see archaeological summaries and reputable reporting. It's essential to distinguish between robustly attested finds, for example, water systems and fortifications, and more speculative claims about specific biblical personages. Archaeology can illuminate the material context and corroborate broad patterns, but it rarely yields a single tidy confirmation of narrative details. Scholars proceed cautiously and continuously re-evaluate evidence as new data appears. Jerusalem in the modern era. Modern Jerusalem's history is dense and contested. In the 20th century, the city was the focal point of competing nationalisms under the British Mandate. In 1948, the city was divided. In the 1967 Six-Day War, the Israeli capture of East Jerusalem and the Old City led to unified municipal control under Israel, a change with major political, religious, and international ramifications. For a concise overview of the Six-Day War's outcomes and their consequences for Jerusalem, see Britannica's Events Summary. Today, Jerusalem is administered under Israeli municipal structures, but its status remains at the heart of Israeli-Palestinian negotiations and international diplomacy. Heritage, archaeology, and urban policy in Jerusalem are inevitably entwined with contemporary identity and politics, which is why archaeological projects and public visits are frequently politically sensitive. Recent reporting highlights this sensitivity and the international attention on excavations and site management. How Jerusalem shapes faith and politics. Jerusalem is not simply a museum piece, it shapes theology, identity, and geopolitics. For Jews, it is the axis of historical covenant and liturgy. For Christians, it is the backdrop of the Passion, Resurrection, and early church. For Muslims, it is one of Islam's earliest qiblas and home to revered sanctuaries. These deep attachments mean Jerusalem's stories carry felt truth that can't be reduced to archaeology or diplomacy alone. At the same time, when sacred claims meet modern political governance, tensions arise. The best path forward honors both the city's archaeological richness and the living faith communities who worship there. Accurate knowledge, patient scholarship, and mutual respect are necessary, and this video intends to promote curiosity over caricature. Summary: Jerusalem resists simple stories, its stones hold memory, faith, and contested power. If you love history, approach the city with curiosity and sources. If you come as a pilgrim, come with humility and respect. If you study it politically, recognize the depth of identity involved. If this deep dive helped, do 3 small things: like, subscribe, and comment one surprising thing you learned. Shalom.